Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Beer Battered Sports Podcast, the podcast created by sports fans for sports fans. Because, let's be honest, we believe that we're the most qualified to talk about our favorite sports and our favorite teams. I'm your co-host Isaac,
And I'm Kylie.
and Calvin will be with us shortly. He's running a little bit late, but no problem. We'll have the whole gang here for you guys. As welcome to episode. Is this episode 75?
Mm-hmm.
Episode 75. Oh, yeah. 75 episodes of Beer Battered Sports. That's crazy. We're 25 away from 100. We will be doing something big for episode 100. Don't you forget it. But anyway, welcome to episode 75. Today, we are going to be talking about Major League Baseball and giving our opinions on the season so far, on all the teams, the All Star break. Before Calvin jumps on to get into that, let's quickly talk about some other sports because there were a couple things that happened in the rest of the sports world. First up, I don't know if you
Can we
saw
do
this. What?
can we do hockey?
Okay, go first with hockey. What is it? What from hockey?
Did you see yesterday what happened with the Flyers media?
I did not see what happened. Illuminate me.
So they were interviewing, I'm blanking on the name, um, a player they had just signed, and somebody on the media had asked, what about Philly makes him want to come here because of, like, we all know how the Flyers are doing right now. They're
Mhm.
a clear rebuild. They have been for a while, but now they're saying it's a rebuild and everything. So as she was saying that, this guy was like, how many fucking times is she gonna ask this? And I think it was either her or somebody else. It was a female voice that responded saying the Flyers suck or something like that. So it
I, I know there's some Flyers fans who watch us. I know some of our fellow podcasters with Fired Up Sports are big Phillies fan, or not. Well, yeah, but Flyers fans. I mean, um, I feel for you guys so hard right now.
Mike
Uh,
thought it was hilarious.
yeah. I mean, that is funny, but man, it's just I feel for everybody. It's a rough time to be a Flyers fan.
It
Time.
just kind of shows how, I mean, even inside that organization, it's unfortunate. I don't know too much about it because, as we all know, I'm still kind of learning the hockey part of sports. So
Learning the hockey. That's good.
relearning the hockey.
Well, I mean, you picked a good time to get into it. I think
That's
hockey
what
is.
I'm saying. Last year
Yeah.
was fun for me.
Oh yeah. I just wish it was easier to watch because most of the games you have to pay a subscription to watch, which is annoying.
I have ESPN Plus, so I can do that.
And you should send your ESPN Plus account to me so I can watch my teams regularly. Anyway,
Mm.
let's quickly talk about something from. Let's talk about uniforms real quick because a couple of teams have some uniform announcements. Teams that I like, at least. Uh, so starting off, the Bucks
Oh yeah.
unveiled their creamsicles that they'll be wearing as throwback uniforms. Now, I have long maintained the stance that the creamsicles are bad luck for the Bucks. The era in which we wore those regularly, the Bucks were the worst team in the NFL. Only 3 playoff appearances from 1976 to 1996. So 20 years and only 3 playoff appearances. They were the worst team in the league during that time. The second that we switched to our pewter power uniforms, we made the playoffs in our first season with them. And the second we switched back to pewter power in 2020, we won the freaking Super Bowl. So, because we had the brief period where we tried pastel, which I have one of those
And the
jerseys.
creamsicles are coming back, and you have freaking Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, look, I'm fully
it's,
expecting this to. Okay, get your laughs out now.
it's
So
not a good start at the comeback, and honestly, it's just hilarious. The irony is actually funny because they've said that they are going to bring back the powder blue or the creamsicles the past what 2 years because of the new rule being in effect.
yeah, and I
And
really
so
think I
we
think that. Go ahead. Sorry.
we've talked about this ever since we started the podcast, and you have been so adamant on how bad luck they are. And I was like, nah, dude, it's fine. Like you're gonna. This is different. It's gonna be. It's a great look, so it can't be
Oh,
too
I
bad.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, they're ugly because they are.
Right.
By the way, if anyone's watching on YouTube, yeah, I'm relocating to a different chair. Forgive me. So let me just.
So,
Oh, that didn't work. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I've been adamant about how I don't like the creamsicles. Let me
mhm.
be very clear. I think the creamsicle look is okay. I think the uniforms are pretty cool. They're unique. A lot of sports teams don't use that combination of colors. The problem is that the history that the Bucks are trying to rep is not one you really kind of want to because again,
Mhm.
schools that era, the Bucks were the worst team in the league. With that being said, though, it's something to note about the Bucks. I think um, we're probably not going to do very well this coming season. Tom Brady's retirement. Uh, Tom Brady's retirement is it's gonna hurt because this team is one of those teams that kind of relies on a strong quarterback. We've got good pieces, but unfortunately, it was Brady's leadership that tied us together for that 3-year run. But only 2 of those 3 years he was good because that last year was painful. Honestly, I think last year was the worst we're going to see because I think this team actually they still have a lot of the pieces from the Super Bowl run. We just need to, make sure that our quarterbacking isn't terrible. And you don't necessarily need a fantastic quarterback to get far in this league.
No, you don't, especially with the pieces you have. Your pieces are good.
As long as they don't pull a Jameis and throw 30 interceptions, we'll be okay. I don't think Baker and Kyle Trask are all that good. I think it's going to be a rough year for us. But as a Bucks fan, I am used to rough years, and I would much rather have us rebuild with a quarterback who is more likable than Tom Brady. Because as thrilled as I was for Tom Brady to come in and immediately turn us into a title contender, it didn't really feel earned. It felt like we bought a championship. Our first Super Bowl run in 2002, we were building up to that for years. For years, we built up to that team to make it perfect to finally make a run at the championship, and we got it. It felt earned.
Which
It felt
Booger did
deserved.
talk about that when we had
Yeah,
him on.
he did. That original Bucks Super Bowl run team, they began building that back in the mid 90s. In 1997, they first made the playoffs. They were consistent playoff contenders up until 2002. That was the last year that they had that core that they could really make a run for, and they finally did it. It felt earned. The last Super Bowl run we went on, we basically just came out of nowhere, won the Super Bowl, had Tom Brady had 2 incredible seasons, was complete trash last year. We benefited from a bad division, and now we're probably going to have to go into and now we're in this weird loophole where everyone says, "Oh, the Bucks will be rebuilding." I don't think we are. I think our problem is we just don't have a good quarterback now, but we still have the
Mhm.
pieces. If we can do well enough, I think we can still win the NFC South. But we just had. I just hope Baker can. I hope Baker can show some of the same spark he showed in Cleveland when he first got there. So I will remain. I will remain positive. But back to the uniforms. Ugh, it's God. I hope we only wear them twice a year because oh boy, just, the creamsicles scare me. I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of the history of those uniforms.
I was really hoping we would get to see Tom Brady in them.
I think Brady knew that they were going to come back. I think Brady's smart. He saw they were going to bring the creamsicles back and said, "Fuck this, I'm going to Fox." I'm sorry. The only good thing the Bucks have ever done in those creamsicles was in 2009 when we were like 0-13 to start the season, and we brought it back the creamsicles for the first time since the 90s against the Packers, against the Aaron Rodgers led Packers when Aaron Rodgers was at his peak, and beat them in Tampa on the day we retired Leroy Selman's jersey. That's probably the best thing we've done in those creamsicles. That and that brief spat from 1979 to 1982 when we randomly got competitive. This is the best thing we've done in those creamsicles. Outside of that, those creamsicles have brought nothing but pain. They look great. They look great, and but I don't trust them. I will say this though, I'm interested to see what the discourse about the pirate logo is because back during the 70s and 80s when the Bucks were wearing the creamsicles, that pirate logo was not as beloved as it is today. There was a lot of fans use some certain terms that aren't necessarily politically correct anymore to describe the Bucks logo. Certain terms that start with an F and you should probably shouldn't say. Um, let's just say opposing teams would call us the Tampa Bay FAGSs. So yeah, that Bucko Bruce was I'm glad to see people are more positive about Bucko Bruce, because back in the day, the discourse around Bucko Bruce was very much oh, it's the Tampa Bay Bucks there a little bit, you know.
That
That's a real thing.
makes no sense.
You want me to call my mom up right now? My mom was living in
No,
Tampa when the Bucks first showed up. You want me to call up my mom and be like, "Hey mom, can you tell stories about going to Bucks games, what opposing fans would say?" She's like, "Oh, honey, you thought sports fans like can be homophobic. Oh, you don't want to know what they were like when the Bucks rolled up. People didn't like it."
that's crazy.
Yeah, the Bucks were like, as I said, the creamsicles bring bad
Everybody
luck.
loves it today.
That's because we looked at the past with rose-tinted glasses. Back in those uniforms, people hated them, and people called the Bucks all sorts of homophobic shit because Bucko Bruce. I mean, sorry, Bucko Bruce. He's got the sword in his mouth. He's smiling. He's all a good-looking man in the '70s. Everybody was like, "Gay." That's just how it went back then, and it's unfortunate because it is actually a classic logo. It's just we got mercilessly trolled.
You know, I I can kind of see what you mean because with the Bucks bringing back their creamsicles, we're also bringing back our Kelly Greens. And I mean, the Eagles were pretty shitty. They've been like, other than the pre Super Bowl championships that we have, which is three, by the way. So
Mm-hmm.
we do have three championships. In the Super Bowl era with the Kelly Greens, and they changed throughout the years, but the '90s ones, I'm pretty sure, are the ones that are going to be like
You
the
guys were
ones
pretty
that are
good
going
with
to.
those in the '90s.
We didn't do anything.
That was the
I mean, the
gangrene
only
era.
success, yeah, but the only thing we had was the '83 Super Bowl, and we lost to the Raiders.
Mm-hmm. You guys,
So we've had a lot more success in the Midnight Greens. We've had three Super Bowl appearances, one win. We owned the 2000s for the NFC East, pretty much. Like,
in the NFC, like you forget that the NFC during the 2000s was like a hyper competitive era, and yet the one team that was consistently making the playoffs and consistently going on deep playoff runs was the Eagles. You know,
that's true.
like people, the AFC during that era was dominated by Peyton Big Ben and Tom Brady. The NFC, it was the Eagles, and then whoever the random team of the decade, team of the year was that was going to get their asses kicked in the Super Bowl. So
Yeah, it's weird because I mean, now that we're talking about football and our team's success, like I just I look at that 2004 team out of all the teams that in my lifetime. So I'm not counting the '80s because that '83 team probably should have been the one to win it before any of them.
1980, but yeah,
But yeah, '80.
yeah.
Why did I say '83?
That's okay. The Raiders were in the '83 Super Bowl. They played the Redskins, but yeah,
That's
yeah.
yeah.
The
All right.
Eagles did play the Raiders in 1980.
Yeah, I
It's a
know.
weird one.
Stupid Raiders. But like, do you ever look at? Well, I guess you're what, 2 for 2 in Super Bowls.
Yeah. As painful as it is to say, we are. Uh,
At least you haven't lost one. So
yeah, yeah.
I guess you can't exactly say, have something to say personally for your team. Maybe the Chiefs, but out of all the teams of the Eagles that went to the Super Bowl and lost, I don't know which one I wanted more, the 2004 or this past year. I don't know who of the two deserve it more. Because after
I
20, when we won in,
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say when we won in 2017, I was like, I'm glad. As much as I wanted the 2000, as much as I think the 2004 team should have won it, I'm glad the 2017 team did because I'm older.
Yeah, you would have remembered it more.
But now that I have experienced three Super Bowls, two losses, one this past year, I don't know. I don't exactly know where I was going with this, but
I kind
like
of I think I think we were going in the direction of which one was more impactful. I think last year's was mainly because you didn't talk to me for a solid 2 weeks after that game. Um,
that one hurt me.
it did, and as long as we're on the topic of that game, I have a little thing
Don't you
here.
bring it out. Don't you bring it out.
Kylie, you might want to turn your camera off just so you don't have to look at it, because I'm just pointing this out here.
I'm not gonna let that happen. No, just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
What the
kidding.
hell? I'm still putting it up here. I'm still putting it up here. And the scary thing is, they're probably going to win it all again next year because they are
No,
good.
they're not.
I don't know. We'll get into that close. Look, football, the Hall of Fame game
I
is
am
only a few.
so sick of your team.
Yeah,
I'm so sick of
which one?
the
Which
Jeets.
one?
All
I
of
have
them.
two. I have two, bitch.
Your stupid dynasty hockey team, your stupid football teams, both of them, Tom Brady and stupid Frogman.
Hold
I'm
the
sick
L.
of your stupid Heat having ridiculous success with undrafted players.
Hey,
I
man,
hate your
Spolstra's a
team.
genius. You can't. Spolstra's a
I am
genius. Fuck
sick
off.
of your stupid Yankees
And I am too, because this is where we're going to
for no
transition
reason.
into baseball. All right, Kylie sent me this morning on Twitter, and this just pissed me off. The New York Yankees, for the entire
I thought of you
their
when I saw
entire
that.
existence, have always been have never changed their uniforms at all. It has always been pinstripes at home and on the road, gray and navy. So who in their right mind decided to put sponsorship on the side? I know it's a little patch here, but it is disgusting. You get that shit off of my Yankees jerseys right fucking now. And here's why: that sponsorship in sports is good because it helps bring in extra cash, and it helps out companies. We all are slaves to capitalism, but at the end of the day, hey, I mean, it might as well put your signs up if you're going to be selling your hot dogs in our stadium. That I get. All right, but when you put the logos on the team's jerseys, that takes away kind of the soul of the team. That's the reason I can't really get into international soccer, because when I see those teams, I don't see the brand or the culture. I see the big ad they have on their jerseys instead of their crest. That's what makes American sports so special to me. Every team still has their identity, their culture, their colors on their uniforms. They haven't been swamped with sponsorship. It's what in the NBA allowing sponsors on the jerseys is starting to scare me a bit, because it's not big. They're just little patches, but still, it's the principle of it. I know I sound like an old boomer right now, but the point I'm trying to make is this: putting a sponsor logo on the Yankees jersey is sacrilegious, and I fucking hate it.
It is.
It also doesn't
Now,
make me want to utilize the sponsor's product at all. It makes me pissed off at them.
makes
You
me
want
not want
good
to use the product.
you want good sponsorship. Every time Aaron Judge hits a home run, have some company sign up to give away a promotion every time Aaron Judge hits a home run. Boom, solved it for you. There you go. You
There
don't
you
have
go.
to spoil you don't have to spoil the jerseys. It pisses me off. The Yankees piss me off in general, but we'll get into that in a little bit.
Do you want to get even more pissed off?
Uh-oh. I don't know. Say it.
It's an option. They don't have to do it. They're just allowed to do it.
So they're not
And
going to do
before
it,
you go
right?
on another rant, oh, they did it. They announced it. What I tagged you in was their official page. Um, so you deserve that much anger for what you just posted with your stupid shirt. You deserve that. First of all.
Yeah,
Second of
probably.
all, I have a lot of appreciation and love for every team in the AL East except for the Red Sox.
Oh yeah, no, fuck them.
I like the Yankees because of their their traditional, their history. Like, as much as I hate the beard thing and the clean look crap, as much as I disagree with that, I have always appreciated the fact the Yankees have always stayed themselves pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And when they first brought the sponsors, I really expected the Yankees to not do it because they almost didn't do the Nike patch on the front of the jersey when Nike first started doing the jerseys, because the Yankees were allowed to not, from what I read, I could be wrong, I could be misremembering things, but um, the Yankees were allowed to not have the Nike patch on the front of their jersey.
Right.
And I mean, it's not as bad. The patch isn't bad. It's better than Miami's ADT. which I can't believe they haven't updated. The Mets one originally was this big, ugly white octagon with some like hospital or whatever.
Oh boy.
It was big and ugly. It was as big as the ADT patch, but it just looked like crap. And so they
Gross.
updated it to look they updated it to look at what the Yankees did with the small rectangle patch. So those are okay. They especially it sucks especially with the Yankees because they're such a traditional team and that goes against everything the Yankees do.
That's disgusting.
It is.
The whole
But
I mean, I understand that sponsorship is needed. Trust me, as a motorsports fan, I know sponsorship
yeah,
is needed to keep like sports alive.
yeah.
But I just feel like the big four
There's
American
better ways to
sports,
do it.
there's better way to do it than solely up the uniforms. Because again, like
Mhm.
and I said before, I can't get into European soccer because I just see the ads and not the player and not the culture. Um, that's my whole thing. Um, I need to put that away. Anyway, what was I going to say? So this segues us into our big discussion for today. So Major League Baseball is at the halfway point of their season. The 2023 season reached the All-Star break. The All-Star game was yesterday. I was able to catch about like half of it out at Federal Hill. Me and my boys were out there, and yeah, pretty good game. I have some concerns about Lourdes Gurriel Jr.'s hair.
It's on TV right now on MLB Network.
Oh, they're replaying it. The National League snapped an 11-year streak of losing the All-Star game to the American League. Bastards. AL supremacy.
Nope, NL supremacy.
Yeah, whatever. I wasn't able to hear what was going on because I was out at the bars, but from what I could see, I liked that they had the Fox announcers, including Big Poppy, Derek Jeter, and Alex and A-Rod, sitting down with the fans. That seemed really cool. Kylie, you watched it. How was it? How was the broadcast?
So I was at work. I didn't get to watch, everything. I love last year they put, Alec Manoa on mic and I forget who the catcher was, but they put the catcher on the mic too.
Oh, they put
And
Jose Trevino and Nestor Cortez were on the mic.
it was Manoa too, I guess, because Manoa did it too.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Um, but so they did that mic up last year, and I was hoping they would do it this year, but they mic'd up Mookie and Freddie, and it was funny as hell. They mic'd up Corbin Carroll, so they had some really good mic up moments. They had a pitcher, I forget who it was. It was earlier in the game. I don't remember anymore. But they had him mic'd up, and welcome 40.
Oh, just in time.
Hello, guys. Sorry, I got caught up there.
It's no problem, man.
You're
It's
good.
no problem. We were
We're just talking about the All-Star game.
We're getting into our big discussion. We're going to talk about the All-Star break and our halfway through the season discussion. But yeah, Kylie, you were saying All-Star break, All-Star game.
So they had those mic up moments, and obviously as a Phillies fan, and my manager is the manager of the NL, and my closer closed the game out.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was pretty great.
You guys had a lot of All-Stars. That I was really impressed with how many Phillies went there. Yeah, two? I thought you had more.
Mm-hmm. That was our bench. That was our because Rob Thompson is the manager. They had our guys there.
Okay.
Yeah, in that picture with our coaches.
Yeah, you got the Phillies coaches. Okay. All right, that makes sense. I was about to say, like, God damn, you guys sent a lot of All-Stars, and you guys are like not as good as last year. Shout out to
we are actually better than last year.
Oh yeah, you are. Because at this point last year, you guys had a losing record, and you thought you weren't going to make the play. Right. Pretty sure you guys did.
I don't think at that time, but I could be wrong. I don't. Last year was a lot.
All I know is you guys were terrible to start the year, and then all of a sudden you like found something.
Yeah, we fire the manager.
Yeah,
that was the problem.
Quick shout out to Vladdy Guerrero Jr. for winning the home run derby, becoming the first. He and his father, the first father-son duo to ever win the home run derby. I caught a bit of the home run derby. It was a lot. It seemed a lot of fun. Julio Rodriguez, J-Rod, 41 home runs in one round, broke the record. Just If only he could do that in the regular season and make Seattle actually competitive like they were last year, it would be great. Just saying.
Looks like Calvin's struggling with signal right now. He's frozen. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But my issue with the home run derby was this.
Okay.
Adley Rutschman was a dog. He went on both sides of the plate and crushed Homer. He crushed the ball. So instead of doing brackets, just do whoever has the most home runs and go back to the out system.
Oh, but Kylie, that's not confusing enough. We need to stretch this out so it fits a 2-hour window.
Gotta add controversy, I guess. I don't know.
It's what it is. I thought it was fun though.
It was.
But this brings us to our big discussion here. So, Major League Baseball is at the halfway point of the season, and looking at it right now, we've seen some crazy stories. Some teams that have impressed, some teams that have not impressed us. A couple teams that need to get their heads out of their asses and start playing good baseball. God damn it. So I was thinking
the Mets.
Here, yeah, there we go.
No.
So I'm saying this. I say we go division by division. Now that we're halfway through the season, we pick who's going to win, who we think is going to win it all, if any of the, and which teams are going to emerge victorious from each division, and give our thoughts. And I'm actually going to start in y'all's division, the NL East, because right now at the halfway point, the Braves lead by 8.5 games over the Marlins. Phillies are 12 games back, but with a winning record and on the cusp of making the playoffs. Then you have the Mets, who are 18.5 behind, and the Nationals, who are 24.5 behind. So halfway through the season, give me your opinions on the NL East.
If 40 isn't struggling with his signal, I'll give him the first chance to say how annoying our division is.
Now we wait. There it is.
Yeah, there we go.
My mic was muted, my bad.
Yeah, you're good.
Wait, what was the question again? Sorry, refresh me.
Thoughts on the NL East?
Oh, well, I mean, we know the Braves are going to take it. There's no doubt about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's disappointing what the Mets have done. I think that the Phillies will actually edge out the Marlins to take out the number 2 spot in our division and maybe sneak into the wild card as well, depending on how the rest of the people do in their divisions and stuff like that. But honestly, if you want me to be honest, I think the Phillies and the Braves come out of our division to make it to the playoffs.
Oh, he is very low on the Mets right now.
I think he's about where you should be on the the way I look at it right now, the Braves right now are the best team in baseball. No doubt. They proved it with their series win over Tampa Bay. They are just incredible. They're probably taking it. Miami is looking really good, but I don't know if it is sustainable because Philly is starting to find some of that fire that they had last October. And right now, that's the race you're looking for. Atlanta's going to win this division, no doubt, because they are a juggernaut. And I honestly think Atlanta might be like the favorite to win the World Series at this point, because they are just. I will too, but they're just stacked. But right now, Philly and Miami is the fight to watch, and I think Philly is going to get it. I don't know what the hell's going on with the Mets, and I think the Mets are paying for sins that they committed in the past at some point. The Nationals are
Shohei Ohtani. That's what's going on with the Mets.
That's not gonna happen, bro.
It won't. I don't think the Mets can afford Shohei because they have the highest payroll in baseball.
The highest payroll in baseball is the shittiest team.
Now check this out. The Marlins are 53-39. 5 games. They have 5 more wins and 2 less losses. They have a -5 run differential.
And that actually comes because you don't know what Sandy Alcantara you're going to get when he pitches on the mound. Like, that guy, he was an ace last year, and now it's like he could let up 7 runs in an inning or he could pitch a shutout.
Yeah, he literally won the Cy Young and has been like so not Cy Young material.
Yeah,
Um, they literally their wins are always by are mostly by 2-3 wins or 2-3 runs. There's obviously some outliers, but most of their wins are by a run, two or three.
yeah.
That's it.
The Marlins have, for the most part, kind of been skating by.
Yeah, it's not sustainable.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I would like to see the Marlins get into the postseason because that's a team I think that they always seem like the odd man out in the NL East. I don't know if it's going to happen this
Because
year
they are.
because Philly is charging. Let's move real quickly over to the NL
Yeah,
Central.
even
Go ahead.
He's on the struggle bus right now.
Oh my god. Okay. uh let's move over to the NL Central, which I think has been one of the most interesting divisions to watch because remember at the start of the year, Pittsburgh was absolutely killing it, but they've fallen off a
Hmm.
bit. So right now, the Cincinnati Reds lead the division by 1 game over the Milwaukee Brewers. Chicago is 7 games behind. Pittsburgh is 8.5, and in St. Louis is 11.5 behind. This division has been the most interesting division to me to watch this year. So, Kylie, I'll start with you with your thoughts on the NL Central.
The NL Central is the weirdest division currently. I mean, the Cincinnati Reds are close. I did not expect the Cubs to be in contention. What the hell is going on with the Cardinals? They are dead last in that division. I I'm double checking this really quickly because I don't think it's changed. Oh, okay, that's a different division I was thinking of. Yeah, the NL Central. I thought they didn't have a team with a winning record, but that's the AL Central.
Yeah.
But regardless, I don't know what is going on with the Cardinals. It's very unexpected. I think something happened when the Phillies destroyed them. Not destroyed, you know what I mean? Like I jokingly, the Phillies ended them, and it makes me happy.
So, Urinating Tree on YouTube did his midseason recap, and what he said about the Cardinals, I think, gave me some good perspective. If you look at what the Cardinals have been doing for the past couple of decades, they have always been getting by and winning titles by having just like 2 or 3 big name stars: Adam Wainwright, uh, Albert
Yachty.
Pujols, and Yachty, and then a bunch of guys from their farm system that are just kind of like good, but not like. I mean, like David Freese was great for that one postseason, but outside of that, did David Freese do anything outside of 2011? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. That the
They
Cardinals
got
are now
lucky in 2011.
they really did. And the Cardinals are facing the reality that, without those big name stars, we kind of said like Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado are good, but Nolan Arenado's having a bad year. And Goldschmidt is well,
Goldschmidt.
I don't know. He's Goldschmidt. He's probably the one bright star. Um Pittsburgh and Chicago, I don't think are going to be contenders. Pittsburgh is building for the future, though, and they locked down Brian Reynolds for the next 8 years, which I think that's good. They needed to do that.
They did need to do that.
Chicago Chicago needs a full rebuild, and they're refusing to admit it. Um, right now, I really want Cincinnati to win this division. I think Milwaukee
Me too.
might squeak it out, but I think Cincinnati is going to fight for it because the Reds are the most exciting team to watch. Watching Ellie Dela Cruz highlights are incredible. I mean this dude is this dude's stealing home against the Brewers was one of the most disrespectful things I've ever seen, and I love it. Like baseball needs more of these guys who just do not give a shit.
I know
I
Calvin
was
wants
in
to
a
talk
stat
about
the
it.
other day. Yeah, I read a stat the other day. It's since the Cruz has been called up, they're like
He's still on the struggle bus. But yeah, he was gonna say since Ellie De La Cruz has been called up, their record is absolutely ridiculous. And it reminds me of last year or the year before. Last year when the Orioles called up Adley Rutschman, and the Orioles instantly like became a significantly better team. 26-6. There we go. Yeah, he says they are 26-6 since LA De La Cruz came up, and
Yeah.
now Adley is catching an All-Star game, and LA De La Cruz guaranteed next year if he continues this is gonna be a dog because he stole home on 2 pitches. He stole 3 bases on 2 pitches. Stole
It's
second,
ridiculous.
and then stole third, and then when I forget who the pitcher was just walking back casually, just steals home.
Yeah.
And Calvin is just done. Okay. We try. Oh,
He's gonna try again.
nope.
What's our old saying, Kylie? It wouldn't be an episode of Beer Battered Sports without technical difficulties. Yeah. Well, that's the NL Central for you. The NL West, I think, has been kind of quiet this year, which is weird because it's got some good stories. So it's currently a tie for first between the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, which really surprised me with how Arizona's been playing. San Francisco is 2.5 games behind. San Diego is 8.5 games behind, and then Colorado is 18 games behind. Now, Colorado, I'm not going to talk about because they're in the middle of a rebuild. I don't see them doing anything. San Diego is
then
kind
why
of
the
like,
hell did you sign Chris Bryant?
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. San Diego is the Mets of the West. They have all this money and all this talent, but they're shit.
Yeah.
San Francisco, I don't know what they're doing right now. It's between Los Angeles and Arizona. And hot take, I think Arizona is going to win this division. The amount of young talent Arizona had, and as much as I despise the Diamondbacks, never forget 2001. As much as I despise the Diamondbacks, the amount of young talent they have is ridiculous. Is ridiculous. You know, the craziest thing I think is that they haven't had to sign Madison Baumgartner for this. They released Mad Bomb, and they're still having all this success. So I think Arizona is going to lug it out right now. The Dodgers they don't feel very Dodgery this year, I guess is the way.
They don't feel Dodgery.
Wait,
I mean,
they've
lost players.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry, Kylie, go ahead.
You're good. They've lost a couple players, and they're human now.
They are.
They're not unbeatable.
Yeah, I think losing Trey Turner was a big hit for the Dodgers. Not only just Trey Turner, but they did add JD Martinez from the Red Sox. So that brings them more power in the bat and stuff like that. But even still, the chemistry is just not the same with the Dodgers that it's been over the years.
Yeah. But by the way, before we continue, they're in the All-Star game. They're at the Felix Bautista home run, and we took the lead. So it just reminded me of the Mariners fan going up to Felix Bautista and talking about the fact that the Orioles called him King Felix and how it pissed him off because King Felix was a different guy on the Mariners and all this other shit, and just really soft behavior. And then so it's the Orioles and the Mariners are kind of at war right now. It's kind of fun to watch.
Well, let's talk about that real quick. Let's talk about that because let's go into the AL West for a second because Seattle, what the hell?
Seriously.
Here's the AL West at the moment. So Texas leads by 2 games over Houston, and Texas, if you screw this up, I swear to God, I will burn your state.
Swear to God, Rangers, don't you dare.
Ranger, I can't believe it. If you guys allow the Astros to win this division
again, it's my World Series.
Yeah. Seattle is 6 games behind. The Angels are 7 games behind. And the Athletics are, drum roll, please.
I actually don't know this one. I didn't look yet.
27.5 games behind.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's a video game number right there.
Seriously.
That's terrible. The Athletics right now, it's truly sad what's happening. And I hope for a miracle that keeps them in in Oakland, but I don't think it's going to happen. The Angels, Shohei's gone at the trade deadline. Like
Yeah,
he
he
can put
has
up
to
these
be.
ridiculous numbers, but with the amount of injuries they have, and they can't. He's not going to want to stay there for long.
This is the time for the Mets to trade everybody on the roster for the man.
Nah, man, nah. This is
Brother,
the time for the
it's
Yankees.
not happening.
The Yankees just defiled their uniforms with sponsorship money. You know they want him. They want to pay for him.
Listen, we'll dismantle that whole roster for this guy.
Look, all right. Before you two New York assholes go on, I noticed something. Isaac, you know how your beloved Yankees are 4th in the AL East?
Do you want to
I
die?
promise I'm getting. No.
Kylie,
I promise I'm getting.
Kylie,
I promise
know
there's a
where
point.
you.
Hold on.
I know where you live, Kylie. I know where you live. I know your street address. I know the names of your pets. Don't bring that up. Only I can bring that up.
I promise there's a point.
Don't try me, Kylie. I'm crazy.
I promise there's a point. And it's probably gonna make you more mad, but I don't care. It's what you get. They are 49 and 42. That would put them 1st in the AL Central, 3rd in the AL West, 3rd in the NL East, 2nd in the NL Central, and 3rd in the NL West.
So your point is that the AL East is. Your point is that the AL East is the Thunderdome. I know.
The best team in baseball, yeah, or the best division.
Yeah.
Because the Mets are screwing it up for us. Way to go. You're
talk about that.
Metsing the Mets.
We'll talk about that in a quick second. I actually do want to get your guys' opinions on the AL West. My point about the AL West is this: Seattle, what the hell? I expected more, and I'm extremely disappointed. Texas, I'm extremely impressed. If you fuck this up and let the Astros win this division again, however, I swear to God.
I swear to God. Keep them out.
Yeah, seriously.
What's the wild
tired
card?
of seeing the Astros.
Dude, you're tired of seeing the Astros. I don't want to hear it from you.
So
you don't get far enough for them to matter. Sorry.
Here's the AL Central. Let's someone start the clown music.
Hold on, Isaac.
Yeah.
You and the Texas Rangers, your stupid Yankees and the Rangers need to get their shit together because you are 1 game back from preventing the Astros from even making the playoffs this year. 1 game back.
Wow.
1. Do your job. Both of you.
We'll do our job.
Do the entire world of baseball a favor.
Is Aaron Judge back yet?
He is not, and there are rumors he may be out for the season. And I hope
they fired their hitting coach mid-season.
Yeah, we're going to come out of the break strong. You know, last year we were on fire the first half of the season and then sucked the second half of the season. This year we're going to turn it around. The first half of the year we have been radically inconsistent. The second half of the year we're going to turn it around. Let's start the clown music and talk about the AL Central for a hot minute. So, with a stellar record of 45 and 45, the Cleveland Guardians lead the division by half a game over the 45 and 46 Minnesota Twins. The Detroit Tigers are third with a 5.5 games back. 8 games back are the Chicago White Sox, and despite being 26 and 65, the Kansas City Royals are 19.5 games back and still within the realm of possibility of winning the AL Central. Clown music. Increase the volume on the clown music because this division fucking sucks.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Ridiculous, bro.
Now I'm an agent of chaos, and I'm going to say that the Tigers win the division for the laughs. But I'm curious, what do you guys think about this shit show clown show of division?
That's exactly what it is—a shit show clown show.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you, Isaac. For shits and giggles, I think the Tigers may win this division just because it's so close. Like.
19.5 games is not close.
Anything can happen. Hey. All the Tigers have to do is win. All the Tigers have to do is win 5 straight, and the Guardians lose 5 straight. You know, it's right there.
It could happen. They were second for a good chunk of May.
That division needs to be abolished.
In reality, it's probably going to be the Guardians or the Twins taking it, but I would love to see the Tigers win it just so I can laugh hysterically at watching this division fold. Plus, it would give the bottom wild card, which would most likely be the Yankees, free passage to the second round. Yee.
Now, here's something interesting. The Rays are 58-35. The Braves are 60-29. The Rays have a plus 149 run differential, and the Braves have a plus 147.
That's probably going to be your World Series matchup right there.
Yeah.
I will become the biggest Rays fan you'll ever see.
I will root for Tampa.
Honestly,
Yeah.
even though they're in my division, I'd probably have to side with the Braves just because I love
Don't
Acuna.
why?
I love Acuna so much. Acuna, he's such a great talent.
I've noticed a trend recently. Like baseball has kind of been run by the South so far in the 2020s. Like Tampa, Atlanta, and Houston have been the three best teams in baseball for the first 4 years of this decade. Like I'm just saying, it's the dirty South is running baseball right now.
DC won in 2019 under the Mason-Dixon line, technically the South.
Yeah, Houston won in 2017. I mean, only Boston and Los Angeles are the only teams not in the South that have won the World Series in the last 5 or 6 years. It really has been the dirty South running things. I guess. Let's quickly talk about about the Thunderdome and AL East. So Tampa Bay leads with a record of 58-35, best team in the AL right now. Second best team in the AL sits second in the division, the Baltimore Orioles, who are 2 games behind and have a legit shot of possibly winning this division.
I would love that.
7 games behind are the Toronto
That's
Blue Jays.
insane.
Yeah, 7 games behind are the Toronto Blue Jays. New York is 8 games behind, and Boston is 9 games behind. It is the only division where every team is within 10 games of each other. It is Thunderdome. Any one of these teams could go to the playoffs except the Red Sox because they're mediocre. Yeah, I've given my opinion on the Yankees. I'll say this. The Orioles resurgence makes me happy because living in the Baltimore area, it is nice to see Orioles fans have something to smile about. I don't like that ticket prices are so expensive. I know Kylie and I are trying to get tickets to see the Yankees-Orioles game at the end of July, and oh boy, it's how's that going, Kylie?
Let me update you real quick. Actually, let's go. Let's just for shits and grins. Let's see.
While she's doing that, I just want to let anyone listening in who has never been to Camden Yards before. So for a good chunk of the last 5 years, well, not only is it a great ballpark, a good chunk of the last 5 years, you could get tickets as cheap as $15 to get in and see an Orioles game.
Still can.
Yeah, you still can. Nowadays, the cheapest seats that me and my buddies used to get to go to Orioles games are like $35 now because the Orioles are good.
Yeah.
It's still, but that's not a problem because Camden Yards is such a good stadium that you can get nosebleed seats and it's still amazing.
Yeah, 100%. That Yankees game, though, I mean, you got to think about it. Both two, the Orioles are good now. The Yankees are, they've been a household name in baseball for many, 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 many years. And now that the Orioles are good, it's kind of like a Giants-Eagles matchup.
It is.
It's big division games, so I would expect those tickets to be high, especially now that I said the Warriors. The Orioles are actually good.
I'll say this.
The seats that I typically sit in are over $100 right now.
God, yeah. Don't stress yourself getting those. Let's aim higher, and by higher I mean higher up, like so we can.
Still $100.
God damn, really?
I don't want to sit in the top section. That's where all the.
I almost got in a fight last time I was there in the top sections. That's a good point. You know what I did that almost caused a fight? You know what I did? I was drunk. We were beating the Orioles. Adley Rutschman was up to bat, and I started chanting "overrated," and an Orioles fan lost his shit behind me. And of course, Adley then immediately hits a home run. So the dude has his beer about to spill. He's like, "Oh, you said, is he overrated now, asshole? Is he overrated now?" Me, completely wasted, just completely ignoring him. Like, ugh.
That's almost as good as when I was at the Devils Caps game 2 years, not last year, the year before last, and the Devils were up 3-0, and then the Caps came back and it was 3-3, went to overtime, and somebody said Jack Hughes sucks. And I shit you not, before he could even finish that sentence, Jack Hughes passed the puck to Nico Hischier beautifully for the game-winning goal in overtime.
It's funny how sports
So-
works. It's funny how sports work sometimes.
It's poetic.
It
It
is
is
poetic.
funny how sports work sometimes. I'm glad that didn't backfire to me when I was at the Commanders Packers game.
That was funny.
I was hassling this guy, Packers fan, and Terry McLaurin is having a field day on Jair Alexander. I'm sitting there like, this is your fucking all-pro corner. This is who y'all are paying. Said my guy's cooking him out there, and the Packers fan was just so heated. And then beautifully, Taylor Heineke on like 3rd and 12 or whatever converts to Terry McLaurin again on a comeback route right in front of Jair Alexander, and I scream in the Packers' face again. And mind you, I'm like you at the Orioles game, Isaac. I'm pretty wasted at this point. I yell at the Packers fan again. I'm like, see, I fucking told you, he sucks. This guy sucks. Get him out of here.
Oh my god.
And then you posted on your freaking Instagram story,
I
dude.
did.
That was the funniest shit.
I followed him all the way out the stadium, and I was saying to him, nah. Like,
Bro, come on.
yeah, I was lucky that guy didn't start a fight with me and punch me in my face, but yeah, I had him very pissed off. He was flicking me off and some more stuff.
Hey man, that was a good win for you guys. I remember
was.
watching that game. That was a good ass win for you guys.
We got to go to the Commanders Eagles game this year, 40.
I've never, in all the times I've been to Commanders Packers, I've never seen Aaron Rodgers beat us one time.
That's crazy.
I'm undefeated every time I go to a Commanders Packers game.
Do y'all play the Jets this year?
We do play the Jets in New York.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn, in New York.
You guys
Yeah,
play
that's fine. I'm thinking about making the trip. Keeping my
they
Rodgers
play them
streak alive.
week 16. You guys play them.
Yep. Thinking about keeping my Rodgers streak alive and helping us edge out that
Damn
win.
it.
And this,
Eagles Commanders tickets are getting higher in price. Damn.
so this brings me up to one last thing I wanted to talk about before we sign off for the day. Looking ahead to the start of the NFL season, which week 1 matchup are you guys most anticipating?
Commanders Cardinals, just because I got 6 free tickets yesterday. I forgot to mention that. I worked at the Commanders team physician's house yesterday. Yes.
That's awesome.
It was
That's awesome.
Very awesome experience. Ended up getting 6 free tickets out of it. Somehow I'm going to sneak my way into the owner's office to have a few words.
That's if Snyder is still there, which he won't be.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the schedule now. Monday Night Football, Bills, Jets. Sounds like it could be good.
My realistic thing is Bills Jets. That game's going to be crazy.
I think that's going to be a trap game. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. They got to prove for Hard Knocks too. I don't know.
I am excited for the season opener, Chiefs Lions. I think those are two very the defending champs against one of the teams.
No one cares.
Shut up, Kylie. I don't know. Kylie, you should be excited. You guys get the Patriots in week 1.
Yeah, in New England.
Yeah. That's going to be fun.
It's bullshit.
That's America's game of the week.
The mastermind, Bill Belichick, he could beat the Eagles.
I don't know.
Couldn't beat him 3 years ago, 6 years ago. No.
That's insane. Since 6 years. I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to crave football, man. Like I looked at the schedule the other day and was like, holy shit. The Hall of Fame game is in like 2 weeks. I don't give a shit that it's Browns Jets, but I'm still gonna watch it. Like, goddamn.
9 Sundays away from week 1. We're almost there.
Almost.
I'm looking forward to Chicago and Green Bay.
Do they play in week 1? They do play in week 1. Yeah, that's one of the big games of the week.
Of course.
First Bears Packers game without Aaron Rodgers. First Bears Packers game without a Hall of Fame quarterback coaching the Packers, quarterbacking the Packers since the early 90s. Because let's be honest, guys. Which look, that if historians rediscover this video years later when Jordan Love has become the greatest quarterback of all time, I will.
You didn't see this. Pretend you didn't see it.
How about this? If Jordan Love ends up being incredible and the Packers get a 3rd straight Hall of Fame quarterback, I'll eat this piece of paper.
I mean, I would expect him to be incredible. just due to the fact that he was behind Rodgers for so many years, and like if you're not learning behind Aaron Rodgers, then what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
there should be
Fair
a
enough.
lot of learning going on if you're behind Aaron Rodgers, and that was the same for Aaron. If you're behind Brett Favre, at that time Brett Favre is one of the, we're looking at him as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. So if you're not learning when you're behind Brett Favre, what are you doing actually? So I think Jordan Love, he was put in a great position where he'll be an incredible quarterback.
Hey, Kylie, week 3, Monday Night Football, Eagles Bucks. Are we? Are you on?
Hell yeah.
Eagles Bucks. The Eagles are gonna blow those guys out the water. Who's over there? Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, we're gonna suck this year, and I'm fully expecting us to. You know what? It's not gonna be as bad as it was last year because Tom Brady had regressed so much last year. It was painful. This year, I'm more confident that we'll at least not be terrible.
Yeah, but this year, even if you are terrible, it's more like you're kind of expecting it. With Tom Brady, it's like, man, what the hell are we doing out here?
Yeah, that was last year. Last year it got so bad that I straight up stopped watching the Bucks at points because I was like, "What's the point? We're gonna win our division and get clapped in the first round. I don't give a shit."
One thing before we sign off. Everybody shut up about Wemby.
Yeah, I was originally gonna bring that up, but yeah, we're not.
No, we can talk about it. We can talk about it in a different way. The media is just going too crazy with Wemby right now.
Fair enough. I was going to bring up the fact that the Spurs have done the right thing and
yes,
deactivated him for the rest of the summer league. They don't need him getting hurt. What they need him to do is they need him to bulk up and get ready to face some of the big guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jokic, Embiid, Cat, Anthony Davis when healthy.
I still like Chet Holmgren for Rookie of the Year.
I agree.
I'm a big Chet guy. I watch Wemby. I've been watching Wemby for a little while now because I bet on his overseas games when he was playing over there.
You're wild.
You bet on his overseas games, okay?
Yeah.
Okay then.
But even like they were in the playoffs, and Monaco was dominating them. There was a time where I think it's a 5-game series over there. I think it was in like game 2 or game 3. They were down like 96-58, and this is supposed to be, the number 1 draft pick in the league. This is supposed to be, the guy that's the next Jordan, LeBron, this, that, and the third. But he's down 96-58. I don't think I've ever seen, even in Jordan's first years where his team didn't have a winning record and he still made the playoffs and stuff like that, I don't think I ever saw a game where he was down 96-58. In LeBron's 20-year career, I don't think I ever saw a game where he was down 96-58. So,
I mean, you got to remember at the same time, the talent level in the French league is very, very different compared to the NBA. It's more likely you're playing against a rec league.
Then why isn't he carrying?
Yeah, exactly. That's my point there.
Fair point. Yeah, you know what? Never mind. Fair point.
He should be dropping 40 to 50 points a game if they're rec league guys over there and you're the first round pick in the NBA draft.
They are more physical in EuroLeague, though. They're a lot more.
More physical. But you know who dominated EuroLeague and scored 40 points a night? Luka Doncic.
Luka.
That's a fair point. I think we just got to all shut up and wait until see what happens when he actually plays.
Yeah, he dropped 9 points once and then 27 the next. Let's give him some time.
I'm rooting for him though because I really want to see him do well.
I'm rooting for him, but I think what, and I was actually saying to this to you guys in the group chat the other day. I think what a lot of these young players' problems are nowadays is they get compared too much to the people before them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they do.
This guy's supposed to be the next Jordan. Oh, this guy's supposed to be the next LeBron. Just let the guy play basketball.
How about
let him do what he needs to do so then we can let him win a championship first or something of that nature. Let him get to the playoffs before we're like, oh, this guy might be the next Jordan. Oh, this guy might be the next LeBron. Because every time they put that narrative on somebody, the guy's career goes to absolute shit. We've seen it with Anthony Bennett. We saw with Zion. Well, I can't say Zion Williamson's career has gone to shit yet because he's still in the NBA, but he hasn't done anything that's been spectacular to us yet. Ben Simmons, I'm sorry, Kylie, you had to go through that, but, Ben Simmons, they compared this guy to LeBron his whole college career. He's come to the league and shit the bed. So I think that analysts and outside guys need to stop comparing these young guys to the current NBA players because they'll never be able to live up to the hype that these guys lived up to, or they'll never be able to be what these guys were. And if you
Agreed.
stop comparing them, maybe they could be better than these guys that you're comparing them to.
Yeah.
But they
No,
feel like
yeah.
they have to live up to that level of comparison now because they've already been compared to those people.
hmm And I'll say one final thing about it before we cut off is, Terry Bradshaw, Peyton Manning, a lot of old players would be out the league in 2 years if social media was a thing back then. Because Peyton Manning to this day still has the rookie interceptions record. I don't know I don't remember if it's the actual NFL record, but I damn sure rookie. And Terry Bradshaw, from what I heard, was actual dog shit in the beginning.
Oh yeah, Terry Bradshaw sucked ass when he first started playing.
So
He
if it
was
wasn't for social
horrible.
media, social media like just doesn't give any player patience anymore.
Yeah.
And it's because they have players like Mahomes who are just the outlier, the exception to the rule, who literally just or the Joe Burrows who literally just like take a year minimum and instantly make that impact for a team and throw them into a Super Bowl contender. Instantly. That's not supposed to happen. Like with these first round, like these first overall rookie quarterbacks, like give them a damn minute.
Yeah. Like even so, I'll tell you a guy that did really well with canceling out all the social media noise, and
Hurts.
yes, Jalen Hurts, that guy right there, because everybody was saying this guy is gonna be complete shit, this, that, and the third. I'm one of those people that said it. I mean, even still to this
Y'all
day.
know I was. Y'all know I was.
Yeah, even
Oh,
still
I
to
thought
this
it was.
day. Even still to this day, I mean, I don't think the guy's the most impressive guy. I still pick Lamar Jackson over Jalen Hurts any day, but the guy took his team to a goddamn Super Bowl, so you can't say much about him. And even at first when everybody was saying, "Oh, this guy's this guy's that," he never let any of that get to his head. The guy came out the next year, worked his ass off, and took his team to the Super Bowl. So if any of these young guys can take a page out of somebody's book, it is Jalen Hurts' book, because he did not let that social media bullshit get to his head at all.
Yeah.
Perfectly said. And I think with that, we're going to wrap up today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening to this week's edition of the Beer Battered Sports Podcast. We are a proud affiliate of Fired Up Sports Network. Go check out all the other podcasts that are on their show. You can follow us on all of our social media handles at @bbsports_pod. And check out our Twitter bio to get your hands on our merch. With that being said, we will see you guys next week for episode 76. See you guys. I'm doing the
Bye,
peace
guys.
sign, but you can't see me. I have to turn my camera off. Don't worry about it. I turn my
Alright.
camera off for something.
I will see you guys next week.
Later.